This is my Subway VR game. Why? Well, for some reason people like recreating things you can do in real life in VR, like fishing, table tennis, an office job, kayaking, and a whole bunch of other games. And since AI will eventually take over all our jobs, I might as well prepare myself and spend the next 2 weeks developing a VR game so I can become the ultimate sandwich artist. And even though I'm trying to replicate Subway, I still added some unique features that I think could help them in real life. So the first thing you need to do is model the Subway kitchen. Now I could just look at reference photos and model it like a normal person, but the only way to truly get it is to literally go to one. So I got in the car and I went to Subway to order my favorite sandwich, chicken teriyaki. There was no parking because for some reason there was a theme park in the middle of it. Anyways, I got out and I arrived at Subway. After carefully analyzing the Subway, I discovered that they usually have brick walls surrounding it to make it feel like a subway, which I also saw in a bunch of reference images. You can also see it's enclosed like this. So keeping that in mind, I modeled them all and I found a brick texture online. Unfortunately, it wasn't seamless, so you could see where the cuts were in the texture. However, Photoshop has this new AI tool which is just insane. So you can just select and press generative fill and you just do it for both sides and it's now seamless texture. And after stealing and after borrowing some models from poly.pizza, which is a great website by the way, I finished modeling them all. But it still feels empty and silent, but I'll fix that later, and for now we're gonna work on the gameplay. After ordering a teriyaki chicken sub, I saw that there were a lot of different ingredients. But since there were too many, I decided just to have 8 different ingredients. Bacon, meatballs, cheese, lettuce, olives, tomatoes, cucumber, and I brought back the chicken nuggets from my McDonald's game, because why not? Most of the models I downloaded from poly.pizza, which is a great website by the way, but I also modeled some myself. And yeah, those are pretty big olives. I made an opening animation for the sub, and after programming some more, I made it so you can grab the ingredients and place it on your sub. Well, I kind of made the sub a magnet, but I fixed that and now it works. Now to add the sauces, I originally tried to make a physics-based sauce that you would be able to pour on the sandwich. Well, that didn't work out, so then I tried spawning a whole bunch of balls, but that didn't work out either. So instead, I made sauce guns. This is an MA9mm semi-automatic double-action Okay, so I literally just put the gun model into the sauce. And now all we need to do is shoot a raycast out of the gun and check if it hits the sub and place a splotch of sauce. And now it works, but the sauce kind of just appears there, but we can fix that later with particle effects. How can we wrap the sandwich in VR? Well, we could add realistic paper physics, but why do that when you can press a button and a machine will do it for you? I mean, seriously, I don't know why they haven't made this in an actual Subway. And don't worry, I didn't forget about the classic Subway cookie, so I made a machine for it and it comes in 2 types, chocolate chip and double chocolate chip. Now it's time to make orders. Previously in my Mac game, it randomly chose items out of an array, but this time I can't have it repeat orders, and also it has to choose a random number for each order. So I spent actual days trying to do this simple thing and finally figured it out. And it took this much noodle code to generate a random order sub. I don't even know what most of this means. But after getting a TV model, we now have random orders. So let's do a quick recap on what we have in the game so far. So we can make a sub, grab ingredients, add sauce, wrap the sub, and get a cookie. All of this is good, but there's one huge problem with this sub, is that you already haven't subscribed and liked this video and commented on what you want next, because it really helps me out. Please, no, like seriously, it really helps me out. And now we need to add customers. In my McDonald's game, I made them physics-based, which took lots of time, but it did make the customers do some pretty funny things.
Anyways, so AJ08. What the hell?
But making those took tons of time because I had to create physics assets for each model as they have different skeletons. Well, this time I decided to focus on having lots of different characters so the same people won't just come back.
The reason I say this is every time they do that, I'm laughing. It is.
And I downloaded 2 packs from poly.pizza, which is a great website by the way, and used every single model. So now you can make sandwiches for Witch and Cyborg, just like in real life. But now I think it's time to fix the environment, because malls aren't that empty. But before that, I decided to increase the height of the mall because it was too short, and I also added a billboard. And to make the game look actually nicer, I added some post-processing effects like bloom to make it pop. And now it's time to populate the mall. I need to make some background NPCs to make it feel alive. To do this, I made a spline that they could follow and randomize the characters, their walk speed, and the direction they walked. Yeah, it's pretty scuffed, but it works as long as you don't look too closely. Even though it doesn't look as empty now, it still sounds empty, so I think it's time to add some sound effects. I recorded some more ambience and I added it into the game, which made it feel more alive. I also downloaded some sound effects for the buttons, source guns, and when placing ingredients on your sub. And I also... oh, wrong volume. And I also made this pretty cool register thing. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool. Now, to work at Subway is sad, depressing, and repetitive. You make the same sandwiches, you see the same faces, get yelled at by customers, walk home, sleep, and repeat. So to make my game truly realistic, I got my friend N1 Evolve to create background music that perfectly captures this feeling. His music is great, by the way, so go check him out. Anyways, I added it to the background and now we have background music. Now it's time to add particle effects. Like I said before, it's kind of weird that the source just spawns there, so I used Unreal Engine's Niagara particle system to make it more realistic. And now we can shoot guns more realistically. I also made an emissive material which glows, so now we have glowing particles for the submachine, wrapping machine, and the tray when you complete an order. Finally, now that's all done, all we need to do is create a main menu. So to do that, I got an image off Google and using Blender, I converted the Subway logo into a 3D model. I modeled a giant big red button, and to play the game you just need to press it. And now you can work at Subway for the rest of your life. Now, in my McDonald's game, a lot of people said I would get sued. But I released it anyways, and I haven't gotten sued. Yet. So for this game, I think I'll release it, but I'll probably change the name to something like, I don't know, like Subway? I also got lots of comments on making it available for the Oculus, the Meta Quest. The only reason I haven't done that yet is because I actually want to make the game playable because it's still kind of buggy, and exporting to the Quest would also mean I have to do a whole bunch of optimizations so I can export it to an APK file. So if you want to see when that's available, go join my Discord and I'll post it there when it's done. So that's my Subway VR game. Now I know some people think the whole point of VR is to escape reality, but I think taking something familiar and finding ways to improve it or just make it a bit more fun is also good. And maybe AI will automate a lot of jobs. I mean, it literally helped me write this outro. But I don't think it will replace the creativity. And even though I did spend lots of time on this game, I don't think it was as hard as the first time I made a VR game about McDonald's, which you should watch here.